Let's talk about Calvient's electronic registration and e-form capability. The first thing to note is that once we get connected to your EHR, we will start syncing all of your patients and all of your appointments to our system, and you can see them here on the schedule screen. Now, for many patients before the visit, or maybe even after the visit, we want them to complete a form, or maybe on demand. Maybe annually, we want them to fill out an insurance form. You can send those on demand or on a schedule, one at a time or in mass. And let's talk about how that works. First, you're going to go to our configuration screen and you're going to click on registration and surveys. Now, what's amazing about the Calvient AI platform is you take your paper forms that you currently use today, you'll say create from PDF and upload them here, and our system will build them for you electronically. Or you can build them manually. You create a new registration form, you can add new sections, you can add new fields. So for instance, let's just look at this PHQ-9 form. You can see we've built this form. You can fill this out. It will tabulate your score. Our form builder supports advanced capabilities like calculations based off answers. This is what the patient would see, and on a mobile phone, it would be a mobile-friendly view. So build your forms out, build sections, build fields. We have all kinds of advanced field capabilities, different types of fields that can service particular needs. Driver's license, maybe you need to upload a copy of your insurance card. We will use AI to parse out data off of that insurance card if you use that. Maybe you want to track medical history, medication list, allergies. We have primitives in our form building tool for all of those things. Of course, AI will build that for you if you simply upload your current paperwork. Now let's talk about how these get to patients. There's really one of three ways. One is you can assign this form to certain patients based off of the appointment type, the resource, or the location. And these will be synchronized from your EHR and scheduling system. So you may say for all patients at the Oklahoma City location seeing doctors A, B, and C, they need to fill out these forms in advance of their visit. You would configure that here. You could say all cardiology appointment types or new patient appointment types need to fill out a certain form. Maybe they need to complete a digital messaging consent on their new patient visit. You could assign that here. And then on our timeline, you will configure those to go to the patient so many days before the visit. So in this case, I'm going to say 2 days before your visit at 8 a.m., I'm going to text you your registration forms. So you can see here, 2 days before, we're going to text you the registration forms. If I have a form I want the patient to complete after, it works much the same way. I'll set up a survey and I'll say send it either on the day of or after the visit at a certain time, and we'll send those forms. So you can schedule forms to automatically be sent to the patient in advance or after their visit. Additionally, you can send them on demand. You can send them on demand one at a time, or you can send them on demand for a batch of patients. To send them on demand for a single patient, go to the patient screen, search for your patient, and then you can send them paperwork on demand. Just select the forms you want. Do you want to text it or do you want to email it? To send it in bulk, what you'll do is you'll create a new task list for the patients that you want to send. Let's just imagine that it's the end of the year and I want to send out a batch of electronic forms to patients to ask if their insurance has changed. I'm going to build a task list for this purpose. Let's call this Annual Blizzard Forms. This is a forms task list. A patient is required. And I'll hit save. Now there's a lot more we can do on our task screen that we won't demo for the purpose of this video. When I come back to the task screen, I'm going to go to Annual Blizzard Forms. Now, there are no patients on this list, so I want to add patients to this list. So I'm going to bulk add, and then I'll say every patient who's been seen, let's say, since September 1st to today. I can specify what location. I can say at all locations. I can say what appointment types. Maybe I want to say cardiology new patients. I can even filter down by age range, so patients over 18, patients who have a certain diagnosis or who had a certain HCPCS code, or for certain insurance companies. I can add all of that. And create tasks. And what that will do is that will pre-fill this list with patients that meet that criteria. Here in our demo system, we don't have that many patients. It just found 2. So then I can batch select. bulk actions, and then I can send a message, a text message to the patient and say, please complete, and then reference the form. I can also email it to the patient and do the same thing. That is how you can batch send forms to these patients. Once the patient completes the form, it will show up here on the task list, and you will see here in the attachment section that the form has been completed. You can see what it was. We can send it to the EHR from there and process it. So that's how our electronic form solution works. There is one other way you can do this. If I were to go back to our registration screen and pick the form I want the patient to fill out, maybe the intake form, if I go to edit, and if I go to miscellaneous, I can say generate a public URL. This creates a unique URL to access this form for your patients that you can put on your website. You can put a nice button that says, new patients, register here. They click on it, they fill it out, and once they fill out that form, it will drop in neatly to your practice inbox so you can see that the patient has completed it.